Hey, and thanks for joining us on the Solar Power Hour today. My name is David Ringo, your host. You can call us anytime with any questions, 888-337-0937. You can check us out on our website anytime at the solarpowerhour.solar. Or check us out on the Facebook anytime, Solar Power Hour, the Solar Power Hour on Facebook, or shoot me an email. My last name is Ringo. It's Ringo at thesolarpowerhour.solar. And as we prepare to talk about solar today, it's hard not to talk about the coronavirus and how it's affecting us. It's changing our quote unquote everyday life. How we do everything in this world right now has changed. And as we want to educate everybody on solar, we just want to make sure that everybody stays educated and stays safe and practice this social distancing that we're going through. And this has definitely changed a lot of things in how we produce and how we actually interact in this society and so on. We're going to talk a little about that later, but we actually have a wonderful guest on here today. I want to get right in here and talk to her. We have Deborah Castro, and she is part of the PACE program. She runs the Wiregrain program, and she's on here virtually as we talk about doing things differently. We usually are in-house doing this production at Weaving TV, but today we're actually doing it remotely, as most of our business is anymore. But she's actually joining us from Miami today. And Deborah, are you there? Can you see us?
Yes. Hi. Thank you for having me. This is very
Absolutely.
Cool and different.
We appreciate you joining us today. And so as this podcast, we talk all the time about education and solar, and what our goal on this podcast is to educate the consumer and give them all the information they can, whether it's just about solar or financing or what the payoff is, what equipment to use, how to find a contractor and all that stuff. And you fit right into that because you actually have a fantastic finance option for people that may or may not be able to get financed elsewhere. So anyway, first of all, I've taken all away your introduction. So can you introduce yourself? I'm sorry, and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, no, not a problem. So I handle the state of Florida for Wiregrain financing, and basically we administer the PACE program. And I've been doing this now for about 5 years, I would say. And it's just a really different alternative way of financing any sort of energy efficient or hurricane protection improvement to the home. So I'm excited to be here doing this.
Well, we thank you for joining us. It's very special to have you on here. So tell me about how the PACE and the Wiregrain, what does the PACE originate from? Tell me a little bit about the PACE program in general, because there's a lot of people that are on here, they talk about financing and they don't understand it, but tell us a little bit about PACE in general, just the background of it.
Sure. So I can start with what PACE stands for, and it actually stands for Property Assessed Clean Energy, and it's a Florida statute that was passed. And in short, what it allows is the homeowners to do any sort of energy efficient or hurricane protection improvements to the home. And the way they repay it is with the property tax bill. So it's added on as a line item, basically.
Well, that's fantastic. So let me ask you this. We have a lot of people that we present solar projects to, and I'm sure there's other clients that maybe it's air conditioning or other products, and they don't get approved for standard financing. So how do I get approved for PACE, and what kind of restrictions are there?
Yeah, so I think the reason why we call it an alternative is because it's based on the equity in your home, and it's not actually credit score based, which is what traditional financing looks at. So a lot of homeowners really like that because, again, we're not really basing it on a credit score number. And it's actually not ever going to be tied to your credit. So whatever you are borrowing is not going to reflect on your credit or your credit history. So a lot of the homeowners are choosing to go that route because they rather, tie things to their credit, like a home purchase, like a car and things like that.
That's fantastic. So how do they go about getting approved? Is there like an application, or how do they go through that?
Yeah, so our approval process is actually pretty simple. And since we're not credit score based, what we're looking for is that homeowners have a minimum of 10% equity in their home, that they're current on their mortgage payment, and that they are currently not in a bankruptcy. So if you are bankrupt, if you had a bankruptcy and it was discharged, that's okay as well. And the last thing that we want to make sure is that you have paid your taxes, your property taxes, for the last 3 years, or the time you've owned the home. So if you just purchased the home or you bought the home a year ago, we'll only go back that year.
Okay, so if somebody's only been in the house for 2 years, they could still get a PACE program as long as they've paid.
Absolutely. Yep.
Okay, that's fantastic. And the longer they've been there, does that help because they probably have more equity in the house? I'm assuming that they would probably be allowed to get more money. Is that correct?
Yeah, so as a standard, what we look at is a 15% of the just value of the home, which is what you're sort of taxed on, for everybody to understand how that works. So if your home is like $250,000, their just value, it's about 15% of that you would be approved for. But again, it varies, obviously, based on once you submit the application, but that's a pretty good rule of thumb.
Okay, well, that's fantastic. And so I guess the thing about standard loans is you're making a payment. Sometimes you pay something down, and then sometimes you pay monthly payments. I know PACE is a little different. Can you go through and explain when payments are due and how that works?
Yeah, so I mean, we are tied to we're a line item that gets added on, which is a non-ad valorem assessment, and it can get a little complicated. So I don't want to scare anybody, but it's just basically another line item that gets added onto your tax bill. So however you pay your taxes, whether you pay your taxes with your escrow, meaning that you pay it with your mortgage payment, then it would just go into that. So that would get added on there to be able to fulfill the tax bill at the end of the year. If you don't pay your taxes with your mortgage payment and you don't escrow, then you would pay it. It would just get added onto your tax bill and you would pay it however you pay your tax bill now.
So it could just be annually then they would pay that possibly.
Yes, absolutely. So again, it just really depends. If you escrow, which a lot of homeowners tend to do with their mortgages, then it would go into that added on monthly payment that you pay to satisfy that tax bill. But if you pay your taxes annually, then you would just make that payment one time a year.
Okay, excellent. Now we talked about, now granted, I know I'm here to talk about solar. I would promote solar to everybody out there, right? There's some other products that you allow for the PACE program. Can you go through what people can actually use the PACE program for? What home improvements that would be?
Absolutely. So we do have hundreds of improvements actually that qualify. So once you go into our website, you'll be able to see that. But what we see in Florida is the solar panels. We see the standby alone generators, the hurricane impact windows and doors, the roof, the HVAC, which is your AC. So you could do insulation as well. So anything basically that's affixed to the property is what would qualify.
That's fantastic. Let me ask you this: like somebody wanted to have their house painted or landscaping, is that included, or is that something you can use?
No. So we did not do water conservation in Florida when it was approved. So in California, you could do some sort of a water conservation landscaping, but not in Florida. So again, it varies the list, but I could tell you, I would say the ones I mentioned, the improvements are almost 97% of what we do, really.
That's fantastic. Okay, yeah. Gotcha. All right, I want to do solar and air conditioning in one project. Can I do both of those in one project?
Yeah, you can absolutely bulk your projects. So there's a max amount that you're eligible for, right? Which is what your contract could be for. So there's several options. If you at the time just want to do your roof, or you just, like you said, want to do your solar panels, you can do that. If you want to piece them together and do them at the same time, you can do that too with one project. So there's different ways that you can structure it, just depending on never going over that max amount you're approved for.
Okay. So if I was going to go do two projects, and I'm just asking as a consumer because I'm intrigued. This is such it's such a great product. If I'm doing two different products, so say I want to do solar, and then I have an HVAC. how hard is it to do those? And is it easier to do them at the same time? Do I need the same contractor? I guess I'm throwing two different questions at you at the same time, but can I add on throughout the year and it just adds on to the tax liability that I have? Is that how that works?
So you can, you can absolutely break up the projects as you go through. I mean, what we have all sorts of contractors that go through our requirements to get approved, right, to work with us. So some of them are GCs, some of them are just one type of improvement, only a roofer or only a window and door installer. So it really just depends on who you choose, but you can absolutely do them. You can do step by step if you want, or you can just do one master project, and we can accommodate however you feel comfortable doing your projects at that time.
Got it. It sounds to me like they might run out of eligibility before they could run out of projects to do, because it sounds to me like you could do almost anything. So they're probably going to run out, they're going to have a limited amount of funds that they can use if you're doing the 15% of the house. So I would imagine they're going to run out of funding before they run out of options. Is that what you usually see?
Yeah, I think people like to, we do, just to give you a ballpark figure, if you have a $250,000 valued home and you have about a $37,000 approval, right? If it's 15% of that, between a roof and a window job, most people kind of max themselves out there. Same thing with the solar panels. So what I normally see, I personally myself did my windows and did my roof as well, and I was able to sort of take care of that completely. But yeah, most of the people obviously like to take advantage because we do have a fairly, high value that we give to be able to loan, So I think people just sort of do the bigger projects with us. But anybody that has money left over, I know personally a lot of people that end up doing like a standby generator that they might have an extra $10,000 left, right, in their approval. So they'll come back a year later and decide to do that. So that's kind of the beauty of it, right? That you're able to sort of tackle a lot of the high priced projects in a home. Did I lose you or was it me? Probably not.
I think I left for a little bit. Can you guys hear me all right? I was gone for a second. I was just looking at a frozen screen. So yeah, I think everybody's home using the internet. So I think we're starting to be victims of of everybody. And I'm pretty sure I have a Cineplex next to me. I've got there's some neighbors here. I'm pretty sure that everybody in there is streaming movies in the same house. So we got a Cineplex next to us now. It used to be just a home. But there's all kinds of people using the internet. So I heard most of that. So I'll assume that you answered that. But I guess the next question that I would have is, okay, so I have this liability. So you know what? I want to take care of that. I want to eliminate that. Is that just as easy as like or is such a thing as these?
So I think I gotcha. If you were talking about how to repay it, right? Yeah. So you can absolutely repay this without any sort of penalty. And you actually have the ability to once a year, with a minimum of $2,500 that we do require, you can actually pay down as well. So if you come into some money or you have some extra funds available that year and you want to apply a minimum of $2,500 to it, to the assessment, you can absolutely do that, and it'll re-amortize and it'll bring your payment down. So there's several options. Or if you come into some money 7 years down the road, let's say, and you want to pay it off, you can absolutely do that as well without a prepayment penalty.
That's exactly, I don't know how you got that out of what I said a second ago, but that's exactly the question I asked. Thank you for that. So yeah, I was just asking about prepayment and the penalties associated with, so that's fantastic. But yeah, who knows with what we have going on now, I don't know that how it's gonna play out and all that kind of stuff. But so I know that this isn't available everywhere. So my question to you is, I'm sure there's a map on your website, but how do I, if it's not your website, is that the best way to finding out where this is available?
Yeah, I definitely would urge you to go to our website, and it's going to have in there where it's actually where we're approved, and it's municipality. In some cases, it's by county. I can tell you the Miami-Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach County are all available. But as you go further north, it does get a little spotty. You also have the ability on our website to put in your address, and when you put in your address, it'll go ahead and let you know, hey, you're approved, or it'll give you a message. Unfortunately, it's not approved in your jurisdiction or your city or district. So I do urge the customers to go on there if they sort of want to know if they fall within where we're approved.
Okay, sounds good. All right, we're going to take a quick break here. Please come right back with us, Deborah. Hang on with all the technical difficulties. I'm pretty sure they're on my end, but I do want to say that we're going to take a quick break here. Again, thanks for joining us on the Solar Power Hour. You can join us anytime. I want to put a plug in for WeBeam TV. I didn't do that in the beginning. I usually do. It's a great organization. They put this show together for us every week. It's fantastic. You can watch us on WeBeamTV.com. We're live or we're not live, but we are on Mondays at noon. And we very much appreciate you guys tuning into the show. And again, you can call us anytime. We have a phone number, 888-337-0937. You can check us out on Facebook anytime at The Solar Power Hour, or check us out on our website at thesolarpowerhour.solar. And again, you can email me, my last name, Ringo, at thesolarpowerhour.solar. We'll be right back after a few messages, and we're going to talk more with Deborah about the PACE program.
All right, this week we're going to talk about something exciting as usual.
We always have something exciting.
Yes, we do.
At least it's exciting to us.
But this is a question that comes up.
TV, hey, it is Friday night. We're not here. Yes, we pre-recorded once again because WeBeam TV is working over in Tampa with Dancing with the Stars.
62 Who Knew. I almost said Professional Mortgage Alliance, Joe's Bar and Grill, but actually it's our 39th week. 62 Who Knew.
We're at the wonderful steampunk event at the Verizon Event Center here in 2019. I think it's still August, right? Yeah. Woo! Can't remember anymore.
Yes. To be able to help businesses to do that part of it. But it's just been a couple of years.
Well, and I've taken the business card files from our business card machine.
Entrepreneurs and professionals of Tampa Bay, welcome to your hour for getting the information, the tools, and the connections
Ian
for
Beckles on Radio Influence.
Or you say left hand white, and then they catch the left hand white. What it does, it helps you quick with hand-eye coordination. Yeah.
Well, that's kind
as your super connector. We want to introduce you to our 50-plus show partners. We got over 80 categories of expert contributor advice here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, and we want to.
That's where we disagree, but that's okay.
I said nonviolent.
That's okay.
Because, we're one of the only states that don't give them back the right. Got Jamie Limbaugh. He is from the Next Step Image. I love that name because you were telling me earlier.
For the type of republic we actually are is actually very correct. Yet politicians and regular people use these words interchangeably, even though technically they are very different.
If you're an overdoer, overachiever, people pleaser, we tend to neglect ourselves. Mm-hmm. And even as Sisters Connected here, with Women Unscripted, I know.
And welcome back to the Solar Power Hour. Thanks for joining us today. We have an in-house guest today. We're talking about PACE programs, but also don't forget, we look forward to having you ask us questions. Call us anytime at 888-337-0937. Leave a voicemail if you don't get me. Also, you can check us out on Facebook anytime at The Solar Power Hour, or you can check us out on our website at thesolarpowerhour.solar. Shoot me an email when you get on there. It's ringo@thesolarpowerhour.solar, and there's plenty of ways of leaving questions on the website. We had a couple come in actually while we were at break. We're going to get to those here in a second. But the last question, Deborah, if you're still there, if we still have a connection, the last question we talked about was the areas that you're available. And I want to ask, so there's a map, and I've seen the map before, and I'm sure it grows all the time, and you guys are anxious to be in more areas. But is there a way that we can help and maybe let you know of areas that we want you to be in as a consumer and or a contractor? How do we go about doing that?
Yeah, so like I had mentioned, we have our map on our website, and you can also run your property to see if it's in one of our qualified areas. If for whatever reason it's not, then we always urge the property owners and contractors themselves to go ahead to their local government, to their local commissioner. And I think the more vocal the community is on this, I think the more, the better of the chance, right, for us to really make a good case why this is such a good program. So again, down in South Florida, in the major Tri-County area, we are completely available, but as you go further north, or even to the West Coast, we're not. So I think the more that the community's vocal, from property owners to contractors, it sort of helps everybody, including commissioners and including the local government, really understand this, because there's a lot of, I don't want to say misconceptions, but I just think people, if you don't really understand how this works and how this can help, people can actually be afraid of it in a way. So I think any sort of help from the property owners and local contractors is something we absolutely love. So.
Excellent. So I know I've actually sold a project through PACE before, and it was in, I don't think what county it was in. I want to say, I don't want to misquote a county, but it was in Pasco.
Yep.
You guys are in Pasco, correct?
We are, yes. We're in Pasco, absolutely.
Okay. All right. I just didn't want to misspoke because he's on the border of Pasco County. So, but I've sold a job in Pasco. It went very well. I was very impressed with it. The homeowner has been elated ever since, and this was not yesterday. This was a while ago. We're talking 2-3 years ago, maybe. So you've been in Pasco for some time. I'm taking it, correct?
Yeah, I mean, again, as you go further north, it does get a little bit spottier because we have to go in either district or municipality versus an entire county. But yeah, I mean, there's been a pretty big bulk in Hillsborough. We've had a lot of success and a lot of homeowners that have been able to utilize this as well. So it's great.
Excellent. One of the questions while we were off air or during the commercial break is somebody asked if we could use this. We talked about a bunch of different products, but can we use this for septic and or water filtration systems? Can we use PACE for that?
Yeah, so you can absolutely use it for water filtration systems. That's something that just got approved. For the septic, I do think, and I do urge the property owner or that specific contractor to call us directly just to see how it's structured, the actual project that they're in wanting to do. But the water filtration system, absolutely, yes, it's approved.
Okay, that's fantastic. Okay, and now the one question that I've been asked personally in the past, and I have to ask this, and I hope it's not too much of a stumper. I don't think it is because you obviously know the system very well and everything here. But say I take advantage of the PACE program and I put a solar system on my house because I don't know. That's what I know. I know solar. So I put a $30,000 system on my house. And in 2 years, I'm transferred. Say I'm going to go to North Carolina. I want to sell my house. What is the process? How does all that work? Because it sounds to me, I guess some of the consumers that I talk to are scared that if they have that liability in the house, they don't know how to get out from underneath of it. So can you talk a little bit about that? How I'd sell a house and what happens at the transfer?
Yeah. So again, there's a big misconception with this. You can absolutely sell your home and you can absolutely refinance your home even if you do this. What you have to take into consideration is that it needs to be paid off, right? So you have to take into account what you owe there, and then that's going to be paid off with the proceeds of your home once it's sold. But it's never going to stop you from being able to actually sell it. One thing I would like to add is in certain cases, we have seen that if you have a buyer who is purchasing your home that's purchasing cash, in many instances, they make some sort of a negotiation between the seller and property owner, and the new property owner or the buyer will go ahead and continue paying that assessment for the time that they own the home. Now, I want to make sure that everybody understands that that is only in a cash scenario. So 9 times out of 10, if that buyer that is buying your home has a lender that they're using, they are going to want to have that paid off. So, but yes, it's not going to stop that at all from happening.
Okay, so the cash deal, though, if I buy a house cash and it's got that, I can just continue making the payments on it, though.
You can, but of course, the person who's buying your home cash has to be okay with that, right? Because they're going to be responsible for. Remember, it gets added onto the tax bill, so it's just another line item that's going to be on there until it's satisfied.
Okay, and if it's I would like to think that it's, all the projects that we're going to be talking about, whether it be HVAC, all the major projects, the roofing, the solar, all that stuff, it's going to be worth it to the new homeowner to have that new product on there. So, and then when they evaluate and they start negotiating price, that's going to be part of something, especially if it's a cash deal. That's totally something we'll be talking about. If it's going to be refinanced, you need to pay it off, and then you can sell it. Then it sounds like, so that's perfect.
Yep.
I need to ask a question. I don't understand. How there's got to be interest rates. There's got to be rates figured in here somehow. How do you go about doing that? And how do I figure that out as a consumer, what the interest rates are and how they work?
Yeah, so you can, of course, call our 800 number, and we can absolutely give you all that detail as well over the phone. If you send in your application or you just have some questions, we're always available. If you go through the contractor, all of the contractors that are approved with Wyatt Green all have their own portal, which basically has a proposal tool that shows you what the interest rates are. There's different options that you can do. And we have different terms as well. So you can go up to a 30-year term with some improvements. So if you want to do your windows and amortize that out for 30 years and take advantage of that low payment, you can do that as well. So there's a lot of ways to sort of structure it. And we kind of left it to the homeowner to sort of make that decision based on, everybody's sort of financial comfort level, I guess you could say.
That's fantastic. Okay. Oh, I'm getting a blank screen here. I don't know. I'm going to keep talking as if I'm there. I don't know if you guys can see or hear me, but I can't see anything at this point. So,
yeah.
I guess there's the last thing I want to bug you about here before we let you go and enjoy your day is I got an email the other day and it said literally Pace commercial. And I thought, okay, here we go. It's going to be a Pace commercial that I'm going to watch for a minute. And it's going to be a commercial about Pace that I've seen plenty of. But I opened the email, and to my delight, actually, as a contractor, I see that you are, as a PACE program now, are offering commercial loans that I was unaware of. Is there what can you tell us about the commercial loans? That sounds fantastic.
Yeah, so I think when the program first came about, it was really for commercial, but it took off on the residential side, like the way it has. So we sort of people didn't really ever associate it that you could do it for commercial. So you can absolutely do it for commercial properties. In California, we have a lot of commercial properties we've done. Same thing here in Florida. I can give you an example of a pretty prominent name, BrandsMart. They did a lot of upgrades to their stores using our program. So I think that, it's an incredible opportunity for the commercial side of things, because a lot of the property owners don't even know they can do this on their commercial properties with storefronts, malls. In California, we've done wineries. So there really is, I think, in my opinion, so much that we still have to sort of do on the commercial side of things. So the property owners just really need to sort of know a little bit more how it works, but it's exactly the same criteria that you would see with residential. So it's a great opportunity on the commercial side.
So I have to ask, so I'm sure there's somebody out there sitting there with a office or a mall or somebody there now that wants to and they just had this revelation that they've seen you say this about we can do commercial. How do they find out? Is it the same map? Is it the same map that does the resi? So if you were in Pasco for residential, you would be in Pasco for commercial. Is that the same? Is that how that works?
So it's a little bit different in the valuation of it because we do have to have either an appraisal that we do because, the commercial properties have a different valuation, how they're valued than residential. So in the only really difference is that you would have to submit the application. And if you're not ready to submit the application and you want to have sort of an idea, you can absolutely call us and we can give you, I don't want to say 100% of what it's going to be that you will be able to qualify for, but just a pretty good idea of it as well. So that's the only difference with commercial is that, there's a couple of more steps. But again, as far as it being tied to a credit score or it being tied to the actual business, that's definitely not the case, which is what a lot of the commercial property owners love. So.
I'm sitting here thinking what we can do with our building as well too. So we start thinking about it. I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to talk to you offline about this. So that's great. So then they're just the same thing. There's not monthly payments on the commercial side. It's just tied to the yearly.
Same
that
thing.
is fantastic. Okay, and they can use it for the same products, just about any kind of improvements.
Yep, it all falls within. So a lot. I mean, what I've personally done, I've done dental offices. We've done storefronts where they upgrade all of the hurricane impact windows and doors. We've done the solar panels as well for buildings that want to bring that energy bill down. So there's a lot of possibilities on the commercial side of things. It's just a matter of getting that communication out to people because a lot of people only associate us with residential.
Yeah, that's true because until I saw that email and before I started talking to you, I seriously thought it was 100% residential. It didn't even cross my mind that you were in the commercial realm. So that's awesome. Do you have a success story that you could share with us on the commercial side?
Well, we definitely have some case studies, and I'm almost certain that we have them online. But I think at least for me personally, the one I did with one of my commercial property owners was a dental office, and he actually did the solar panels and he did all hurricane impact windows, and he was just so excited because it's off your books, right? So he had the opportunity to sort of grow his practice and not have to put a solar panel or put the hurricane impact windows and doors tied to his credit. So for his business, he loved it, and he was also reaping the rewards of being protected for the hurricane season and reducing his energy bill with the solar panel. So it was like a no-brainer for him, and he was thrilled when we finished.
I really like how you use the example with the solar panel, so I appreciate that. I owe you for that one. Thank you for that.
I think it's very, the solar panel is something on the commercial side, which, if I owned a big building and a practice like that, it's just a no-brainer with the amount of, of energy that space consumes. So.
Absolutely. We've given plenty of estimates for smaller commercial buildings, whether it be dentist's office, lawyer's office, all the standalone, privately held commercial buildings. I don't know why they're not going solar. And we're going to talk about that here in the next segment, once we let you get on with your day. But let me ask you a couple more questions real quick. Tell me about how much of an impact this has had in Florida and how many jobs and things you've funded. And can you tell me a little bit, some fun facts if you have?
So, it's sort of crazy because when I started 5 years ago, I would have never imagined that, we would have had this impact and not even have the whole state live, right? So we've done a little over almost 45,000 projects, funded over $944 million. So, one of the things that I love about working for Whitegreen is that, we give the homeowner the opportunity to not only beautify their home, but protect it because we all know the storms aren't getting any better. And, again, like we were talking about with the solar panels, you reduce your carbon footprint. And then on the commercial side, you also, help yourself as a business owner. So in my mind, we're doing so good with the community and giving back as well, and just giving that homeowner that opportunity to be able to do these improvements that, they might not have ever thought they could do. So to me, it's pretty gratifying to have the best job. So.
That's fantastic. When you say that $944 million, is that just in Florida, or where is that?
That is just in Florida. It is crazy. And again, like I said, it's not even in the whole state. So, when you hear certain, like everything, you're going to have some negative feedback, but when you really present the numbers that we present with all the positive we do, to me, it's awesome that, we've been able to do this and help so many people through our community.
That's nearly $1 billion in business you've helped generate. That's awesome. How's that make you feel? I mean, you got to be excited about that, right?
I mean, compared to where we were when I started, when I think we didn't even have a city in Broward County, which I know you guys are up north, but it's insane. So it's awesome. It's awesome to be a part of it.
Well, Deborah, we could talk to you all day long. Thank you so much for joining us from beautiful Miami. And yeah. I'm going to get you out of here on this. What's the easiest way to reach out to Y-Green? How can we reach out to you?
Yeah, so ygreen.com is our website. And our telephone is 866-IMAGINE, which is 866-462-4463. And so if you can't spell Y-Green, it's actually energy spelled backwards. So that's my fun fact of the day.
Very good. Again, Deborah, thank you so much for joining us. I thank you for being a guest, and I'm sure I will talk to you offline at some point. But thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. Stay
we're going to
safe.
get her out of there. We're going to get you out of here on this. And thank you so much for joining us on the Solar Power Hour. We're going to be right back after a few messages. Come right back.
All right, this week we're going to talk about something exciting as usual.
We always have something exciting.
Yes, we do.
At least it's exciting to us.
But this is a question that comes up.
TV, hey, it is Friday night. We're not here. Yes, we pre-recorded once again because WeBeam TV is working over in Tampa with Dancing with the Stars.
62 Who Knew? I almost said Professional Mortgage Alliance, Joe's Bar and Grill. But actually, it's our 39th week. 62 Who Knew?
We're at the wonderful steampunk event at the Verizon Event Center here in 2019. I think it's still August, right? Yeah. Woo! Can't remember
to be able to help businesses to do that part of it. But it's just been a couple of years.
Well, and I've taken the business card files from our business cards and made
Entrepreneurs and professionals of Tampa Bay, welcome to your hour for getting the information, the tools, and the connections
Ian
for
Beckles on Radio Influence.
Or you say left hand white, and then they catch the left hand white. What it does, it helps you quick with hand-eye coordination. Yeah.
Well, that's kind
As your super connector, we want to introduce you to our 50-plus show partners. We got over 80 categories of expert contributor advice here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, and we want to.
That's where we disagree, but that's okay.
I said nonviolent.
That's okay.
Because, we're one of the only states that don't give them back their rights. Got Jamie Limbaugh. He is from the Next Step Image. I love that name because you were telling me earlier.
For the type of republic we actually are is actually very correct. Yet politicians and regular people use these words interchangeably, even though technically they are very different.
If you're an overdoer, overachiever, people pleaser, we tend to neglect ourselves. And even as Sisters Connected here, with Women Unscripted, I know
Thanks for joining us on the Solar Power Hour today. Welcome back. We just heard from Deborah Castro from PACE. That was quite a fun conversation we had with her, talking about residential and commercial financing from the PACE program. So if you would, whenever you get a chance, call us, ask us some questions. We want to get your questions on the show, and you can call us at 888-337-0937. You can get us anytime on Facebook at The Solar Power Hour, or you can check us out on our website at thesolarpowerhour.solar. We look forward to answering your questions online. We had a couple of them came in during the conversation with her, and it was fantastic with the septics and some of the other questions we had there. It was awesome. So, we're talking about coronavirus. It's really affecting how we live our everyday life right now, and it's hard not to have the conversation. And at the first couple shows we were dealing with the coronavirus, I tried to ignore it, and it's becoming more and more difficult to ignore. And I wanted to talk briefly about that. But I have two daughters home that are homeschooled, so fortunately, we're slightly ahead of the curve as far as the online courses and the training and understanding what that's like. But there's a lot of people that are going through that, trying to figure that out. There's a lot of people, we're having things delivered to the house like most people are, as many things as we can, groceries, supplies, all that stuff, Target, all those places are starting to deliver to us. And who knows, maybe that's the way it is in the future. So it's affecting, everything that we do. We're talking about how we shop, how we work, how we, worship, all the things that we do in society is really affecting us. So I've had a lot of people ask us how it's affecting the solar industry, and to be honest with you, it's affected it's affected us really just like it has everywhere else. At first, it really crippled us because everybody was freaking out about not having us come to their house. They didn't want us to come to their facility. Don't come near us. We don't want to talk to anybody. And everybody shut down right away. They were just immediately stay away from my house. We don't want to have anybody there. And we can understand that. And as crippling as it's been to us, we're starting to see some positive signs come from all this. People are home. Like I said, they're home working every day. They're, schooling their kids, watching TV, air conditioning's on more. The electric bills, sadly, are unfortunately, it gets to our advantage that the electric bills are going higher because as a solar company, we can help you reduce that. So for a while, we had a huge amount of rejection to where nobody wanted to have us come to their house. They didn't. And now we're doing installs again. We're doing service calls, and people are having some issues with maybe monitoring or something like that. So we're starting to do a lot more service calls. We're starting to do more installations than we were the previous weeks. So things are starting to pick up a little bit. Like I said, people are at home. Their bills are getting higher, and they're starting. Honestly, there's people on social media, there's people on the news, there's people on all kinds of different, they're just consuming content like they never have before. They're sitting around, they have time to study, they have time to research, they have time to look at things. They're looking at their electric bill and watching it rise and go through the roof. So there's a couple things, and I don't like really to promote 3D solar so much on this show, as I try to have it as a separate entity that we can reflect on occasion. However, I feel that this is one of those times that I want to really propose something and share everybody our offer. And again, this is unparalleled times, so I'm going to approach things a little differently than usual. But we do have, starting this week, and actually starting last week, we rolled out an offer that we would like to really talk about today. And that offer is for a couple different things. What we wanted to do is we didn't want to make anybody have to pay out of money or out of pocket right now because of the strain of there's so many people out of work. There's so many people at home. There's so many people that even if they are working, they're not making as much as they used to, whether it be especially the hourly folks. If they're home and not working, they're not making any money. The salary people, sometimes some of that money is, some of those people are paid less. So what we wanted to do was have a program that didn't have any money out of pocket, and that's what we've done. Is we've created an offer that no money down, and we also wanted to extend payments out as far as we can. And we've seen 6 months and 12 months, and we've seen all kinds of crazy offers out there. But what we decided to do is we wanted to go a little bit farther than the 12 months. We just said, you know what? I don't want to sound like a furniture sales company, but what I wanted to do was offer no payments until 2023, which is about 18 to 20 months. And we want to offer that starting now. And what we're going to do is we're going to defer all your payments until 2023 with no money down. And then on top of that, well, first of all, that helps out because I don't know when this uncertainty will be over and we'll be back to quote unquote normal. And I don't know if we're ever going to get back to quote unquote normal like it was before this, but I would expect that we'll be able to leave our homes at some point to do some kind of work. But we wanted to extend these payments out for longer than that. So in addition to that, what we wanted to do is we wanted to offer, and I'm not usually one of the guys that does this, but we wanted to offer a cash back too. So not only did we say, listen, no money down, we wanted to extend payments out till 2023. We also want to hand you a check for $1,000 on the day of install. So when we come out to install on your house, we're going to give you $1,000. Now again, that $1,000 you can put in your pocket. You can do anything you want. You can use it for groceries, use it for anything that you need. Because again, you're not, there's a lot of people that aren't making as much money as they were. So the $1,000 is really going to help out. My intention for the $1,000, whether it be something that you can or cannot do at that time, hopefully we're somewhat back to normal. We can start supporting local businesses. So I would love to have it where you're taking the $1,000 and you're paying, go buy the groceries and, stuff that you need to do. But if you can, buy some pizzas from the local pizza shops that are going to be devastated by this. Get some, pay your barber 3 haircuts in advance to get them back on their feet. Pay the lawn care companies, a quarter in advance or something, for a quarter of the year, whatever you got to do. Do whatever we can to help stimulate the local economies, because it's the small businesses out there that's going to get hurt. Everybody in this economy is feeling it. So what we wanted to do, like I said, we didn't want to affect you right now, so there's no money out of pocket. We don't want to have it to where you have to pay anything in 4 months or 2 months down the road to where you have to worry in 60 days, oh my gosh, I got to come out with monthly payments. So we wanted to make it to where it's a year and a half. It's 18 months plus actually right now. So it's till 2023 of January is the first payment you would make. And then, like I said, at installation, when we come out to your house, which could be the first time we come out to your house, we don't need to, maybe to get something signed or something like that, but we want to come out to your house on installation. We might have a pre-site done, which is somebody comes out and sees where the electrical is. But other than that, we don't need to come to your house. We've been selling over the phone for years. We were one of the first people to do that here in Florida. And I gotta be honest with you, it's been very, very effective. And we've gotten really good at it. So we know how to sell over the phone. We're very conscientious of what it feels like to be talking to somebody over the phone that you've never met before. So we understand that totally. So our offer, again, no money down, no payments till 2023, and $1,000 at install. Come out with a big offer. We are a standard operating company where we come out and we just try and give a great deal and none of these whistles and bells. And unfortunately, I feel like the times are a little different than usual. So what we want to do, like I said, is just offer these type of things. So, and then on top of that, there's a lot of people offering, 75-inch TVs or $750 cash back, similar offers that we're seeing. And now I'm starting to see 6 and 12 months and things like that. But we just wanted to cover everything. We want to give you money back to put in your pocket. We wanted to extend it all out. So then again, you start asking, well, what makes you want to do business with 3D Solar? And I don't talk about 3D Solar much, and I get a lot of people tell me that I should speak about 3D Solar a little bit, but I will tell you this, just because of the awards we've gotten, and I don't know if we can bring our website up there, but right on the front page of our website, you can see some of the awards that we've gotten. And we've gotten so many awards over the years. The Angie's List 3 years in a row consecutively. We were so excited to get those. After that, you have the top 500 contractors. So there's 4 of those in a row. And then we were on Inc. 5000 the first year of eligibility. We were, 700 fastest growing company in the country. And we're in Fast 50 each year in the Tampa Bay market, and then Fast 100 in Florida for the last 3 years now. So, we've got a longevity of expectations in our company where we're going to get awards. There's a lot of people out there that are offering crazy things and doing some great great offers, but I want to know what their awards are and what they are like as a company. But I want to say that you don't have to worry about 3D Solar. We are absolutely a reputable company that has the awards behind it to back it up. Not only that, we don't use subcontractors. We never have and never will. And if we do, it'll because we've gone to a market that we can't get installers there fast enough. But right now, everybody that we have in the company is a W-2 employee, every single person. That's our installation crews, our sales, everybody is a W-2 employee. We don't use subcontractors. There's a lot of companies out there that do, and there's some that do it the right way, but the ones that concern me are the sales organizations that don't understand anything about installations. So the fact that we are both installation and sales makes me realize that we're doing it the right way because we understand both sides of the fence. Installations are difficult. They can be very challenging. Sales, we got that down pat to where we know exactly how to size systems. Our installation crews know our sales guys. Our sales guys buy our install crews lunch. Every time that they go to an install, they check up on the guys and they take them to lunch. So when you got sales and installation crews that work that well together, that just are part of the same culture and trying to get more awards and trying to take care of the customer the right way, there's no company you should do work with more so than 3D Solar, in my opinion. Again, everybody's going to be biased towards their own company, but just check out the awards and check out the reviews online. You'll see that we can substantiate that comment. In addition to that, not only do we not use subs, we've used to install for a lot of other companies, and we would do that because there's sales organizations that come to the area and they're like, hey, listen, we're looking for somebody to install for us. Can you guys help us out? And I hate doing it, but I have done it a lot. I've taken over and excuse me, and I've started doing a lot of installations for companies just so I know that the homeowner is going to get a good experience, and we know that it's going to be done right. Also, we've been around for a long time. I've been in the industry in solar in Florida for over a decade now. I've been here, been through it all. I've seen it all. I can remember when we didn't have financing. I can remember when, we were selling for $8-9 a watt. It was, back in the early days. I can remember doing home shows when I was one of two people trying to sell solar. And I mean this, trying to, because we couldn't, because we didn't have financing and it was way, way overpriced. And I've been there the long haul. I've seen it. I've seen the evolution of solar, and I know both sides of the installation, sales, and even the executive management. I understand it all. So again, selfishly, pushing for 3D Solar today, but I don't usually do that. But this is the best time for us to have this conversation. Like I said, the offer is absolutely bulletproof. It's a great offer for you. And in addition to, I just want to say that I want to go back to that offer for a minute. I forgot to mention this. It's no money down. It's no payments until 2023. And it's $1,000 at install. And then when you do take over payments in January of 2023, it's a 2.99% interest. It's 2.99 interest rate. Best in the market. Can't get better than that. Okay. So on top of that, when you start making your payments in January of 2023, you're going to be saving money versus what you're paying now for your electricity. So it's an absolute no-brainer, in my opinion. I don't know why we'd have any discussion other than that. Now, that's pending approval of our financing company. Now, there's plenty of other finance companies. If that one doesn't grab you, there are other companies out there that will grab us and we can finance you. It may not be the exact same offer, but that offer is we've gotten very aggressive with one of our lenders, and they are working with us to try and push as many people into this program as possible. It's very beneficial to you as a consumer, and we're just trying to drum up business to keep our guys going, to keep our company afloat, to keep you going, and to help out the economy locally. So we're doing everything we can to actually just blow this offer up. So again, on top of all that, we're talking about the coronavirus, we're talking about staying safe, and we're talking about this wonderful offer. But I got to be honest with you, you got to stay safe during this too. So you don't need to have anybody come to your house. Just don't have anybody come to your house other than somebody delivering something, dropping it off, and so on. But like I said, we've been doing phone consultations for years now. It works well. We understand exactly how to do it. We've been doing email consultations. We can and have sold via text before. We've done all kinds of things. Utilize something that keeps you remote and safe. Use Zoom, email, FaceTime, phone, text, whatever you got to do. Make sure that you're doing it safe from a distance. And we can utilize any of those tools, whatever you're comfortable with. We can do it all. So however you want to communicate with us, let us know. It's just as easy to phone, give us a call or text, email. It doesn't matter. However you want to do it. But whatever's easiest and best for you, whatever you feel comfortable with, we are as well. So again, I don't think you're going to get a better offer. And again, you're not going to have a better team that really a team that really wants to stand behind you and make sure that you have the best experience possible. 3D Solar is that group. We are going to do that. Our culture mandates that we stay behind our customers. We stand behind them and make sure they get exactly what they want. If they don't get what they want, we take care of them. So our production, we've gone through this before. I've gone through and shown you exactly how we estimate production, and it's very accurate. We have a lot of happy customers out there. So anyway, like I said, this last segment, I don't often do this, but I do want to promote 3D Solar and our offer that we have going on amid all this coronavirus uncertainty and what we have going on out in the world. And I appreciate you letting me talk about 3D Solar today, but check us out anytime. It's the website's so easy. It's 3D.solar. There's no .com. There's no anything else. It's 3D.solar. Or you can call us anytime at 727-868-0110. And again, that's a loosely related company to the Solar Power Hour. The Solar Power Hour is designed for me just to go out there and educate consumers on solar and how they can make better purchases. So anyway, I'll wrap up the show here. Thanks for joining us on the Solar Power Hour. We had a great time today interviewing Deborah Castro. Check her out at whitegreen.com, and she was fantastic. So if you have any questions for her, you can reach out to us at thesolarpowerhour.solar. Get on our Facebook page at The Solar Power Hour. Get on there. Shoot me some questions. Also, we have call us anytime, 888-337-0937, and just give us a call. Ask us any questions you want. Shoot me an email at ringo@thesolarpowerhour.solar. Ask us questions anytime. And if you want to talk about that, the program, the offer that we're rolling out, call 3D Solar at 727-868-0110. It's 727-868-0110. That's 18 months. No payments, nothing out of pocket, and $1,000 at install. So I don't know how you're going to beat that deal. But anyway, thanks again for joining us on another show, another Solar Power Hour show. We'll see you next time. Thank you so much.